Guys, how you doing?
Together.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Cool.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk to you because you and Zac were people that we followed for some time, and like us doing this Project Connect, you have adapted to your new environment and setting in having to do your, what's it called, the inside show or something.
Yeah, the Stuck Inside show. Yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk to you about that because this whole project was to see who we can talk to and how the virus has affected them. Like, we want to get obviously people that are from different industries, like you're from like YouTube content creation, stuff like that, but we want to get some fucking weird and wacky people as well. And you're quite early on in the journey, so it's nice to speak to you, so thanks for jumping on.
No, it's all right, man. Yeah, sounds good. So where are you guys from?
South London, like Croydon.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Sounds good, man. How are you guys finding working from home and everything?
Getting used to it. Like, we've just been chipping away at this project as much as possible, sort of thing. Cool. I think like having something to get on with is like key, because otherwise you go insane, sort of. But yeah, getting by is what it is, sort of.
I was supposed to be in Canada. Like, I'd booked this whole trip, and my life was about to start. I was like, this is it. I'm going to get out there, cameras. I was like, it's all going to happen. And I got there for a week, and the world was just like, nah.
Wow.
You think, put it in perspective, like, some people got it way worse. Obviously, people are dying, and like people's jobs have got fucked up and all that. So that puts it in perspective. But I'm blessed that we have this opportunity to reach out to people, because before, the process of creating content for us was having to get out there, do podcasts with people, do like interviews and stuff, going all around London. Yeah. And then now you're like, oh shit, we can just do it with a webcam and get a lot better people on.
Mm-hmm. Defo. Yeah, no, sounds good. I think that's what kind of what I'm seeing as well, is like a lot of places and people are kind of having to upgrade because of the coronavirus, which aren't even that mental upgrades. Like, my GP texted me saying that we can do video calls, appointments, and I just think that would have taken them years before they did it, and they'd have so much in meetings back and forth. Oh, we don't need to do it. How are we going to train staff? But it's like, now they've just got to do it, and I think it is going to upgrade a lot of the country and a lot of the world, just to not have to work in a building. So yeah, it is interesting on that front. But yeah,
you seem quite a positive person, like through your videos and that. Naturally, you create fun content, but like, have you been positive about it the whole time? Like,
yeah. So I read a Twitter thread, which sounds a bit shitty, like everyone getting the news from Twitter. But I read a Twitter thread by this biomedical engineer, and it was retweeted onto a guy called Paul Graham's Twitter, who's got a great like Twitter feed. He's the creator of like Y Combinator, an amazing startup accelerator program in California, and it was just saying how, this was mid-March. So about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I think it was around the 10th of March or something. And then that basically showed how the world was going to be. It wasn't a matter of if coronavirus hits, it's a matter of when coronavirus hits. And it was just looking at the mask shortages, and it was looking at the bed shortages, all focused on America, but then it didn't take hard to like do the maths to England as well. And then it was talking about the worldwide supply of medical supply and how that was going to be a shortage, just looking at American cases, let alone the worldwide case of coronavirus. And I remember reading that, and I was lying down on in a spa type area, like with a pool next to me, and I was trying to sleep, and I just could not sleep, and it kind of whacked me like a train, a sudden realization that the world we know is going to change, and there were going to be hundreds of thousands of deaths. And I remember that night I was going to a party with my girlfriend and a catching up with a mate, and I literally could not think about anything else. Like, it just whacked me like a train. And for like 3 to 5 days, I was like trying to persuade everyone this coronavirus is going to change everything. And not many people would it's not that they wouldn't believe me, they just kind of didn't want to hear it really. And like, Zac was persuaded, his girlfriend wasn't persuaded, and like my other mates were persuaded. So I kind of felt like World War III was on its way, and felt like I was the only one in my circle that knew about it. And then gradually, and that was like a really bad period. Like, that was quite testing. When we go into bed one time, just literally, got every night pretty much for 5 days, just fucking worried. But then I think there's 5 stages of, is it 5 stages of grief? Someone referred it to, where it's like denial, acceptance, anger, denial, depression, anxiety, something else, then acceptance, and that's the last stage. And I think that's kind of where I got to after about 5 days, when everyone else started kind of realizing and it started picking up that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So right now, I'm in the headspace. It is still very, very, very shit. Overall, it's very net shit. It's very shit. But there is going to be a lot of benefits. I think healthcare is the capacity for healthcare. Which the problem with healthcare at the moment, I think, with coronavirus is that it is already at its max capacity, and then here's a massive wave that is affecting so many people. That's going to require the healthcare to be much more. So we're going to expand our healthcare to try and meet that peak of the trough or whatever, to try and meet the demands of coronavirus. But when the coronavirus does kind of die off and people are immune to it or whatever the solution is, then I think we will have extra capacity. I think we're going to be much more prepared for something like this in the future. I think, companies are going to become much more efficient. I think I really hope that people take experts and scientists' opinion a lot more strongly and act on that, where previously pandemic experts and preventable disease experts have seems like their voice has been shunned until the drastic things happen. So that's kind of where I sit, kind of emotionally, and is it positive or negative?
No, I think I was one of those people that you would have had to have convinced, because at the start, when I was working in this job, there was one woman in the office that was going mad on it, and I was like, "You're not gonna get it. It's like swine flu or Ebola. Relax, like bullshit." And little by little, and even when I went over to the US, I went to Seattle, which was one of the worst hit places. That's the first place I went, which was fucking typical. And my aunt was going mad as well. And again, she was like, "You're gonna have to go home," and all this shit. And I was like, "I'm not gonna have to go home," blah blah blah. And little by little, I was starting to go out into the city, and there was no one there. There was literally no one. And then I moved to Vancouver, and it was still a little bit buzz there. And then again, no one there. And then I started to be like, "Oh shit, this is so real." And and then having that anxiety of being in a different country when this is going on is so shit. Awful. Like those people in Peru that didn't even know if they were going to get home. From time. So it went from the trip of a lifetime to me to just being thankful that I made it back in the UK. Some beauty, but it is what it is. And after a couple of days, I just was like, after looking at the news, like I said, I was like, yeah, people are dying, man. Me going on some trip it's never a thing.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely makes you appreciate stuff, doesn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of the questions that people messaged into us to ask you was how your content has changed, how have your plans changed? Because we personally had loads of stuff planned, and we do a graduate thing where we help students at creative unis get their projects out, and we've basically we're going to adapt it in a way, but we've kind of had to cancel that because all those shows and everything will be cancelled. How have you had to adapt your content?
Massively. To be fair, when was it? Yeah, I remember just on that kind of similar thing of people not believing it to be real. I remember we started working kind of in partnership with a company called Kyra now, and I remember a day or two, because I needed the news to settle in. A day or two after, I said, right, this coronavirus is hitting us. I think we should stop posting weekly and bank our footage and post once every 2 weeks. Film as much as we can within that week, because the coronavirus is coming and we won't be able to go outside anymore, and entertainment value is going to go up. And I remember everyone in that group chat was like, ha, why don't you go live in a deserted island and take the alpacas with you? But yeah, just that was part of it. It was no one was taking it seriously, and it was I thought I was going crazy because everyone thought I was suddenly put in the category of being your aunt, and my mum's proper worried. Everyone knew someone who was proper worried. But yeah, it was a weird time, that kind of realization period, wasn't it? But how has our content changed? Yeah, so we were pretty much all of our videos are normally filmed out with people. We do weird traditions. We do all sorts of stuff, but it's with people. We actually were in Italy. what day was it? It was like the 10th or 9th or 8th of March. It was quite early on in March. I think they had 150 coronavirus cases. And we were filming the world's biggest orange throwing festival. And the night that we got out there, it was cancelled. And I think that was the first time, but that still kind of hadn't hit any of us that coronavirus was coming and going to wipe the world pretty much. But yeah, that event was cancelled. So that was the first thing that affected us. But when we got home, yeah, we did cram as much as we could. We filmed us dressing up as art for an art gallery. We filmed something with another video that we're going to be putting out, which is a little bit kind of a secret one. And then we were going to do this one where we get wigs and we take them to barbers and we see how much we can get our hair cut off the barbers in our wigs. But that was like pushing it just a bit late. We just didn't fancy going to like 10 different barbers in a day when we know that they've seen hundreds of people that week either. So we ended up getting the wigs filming first half, but then like not doing the next bit. And I think whenever like me and Zach see something that we're passionate about doing, or see an area that we're passionate about, that's why kind of we've got a great advantage of running the big YouTube channels. You can get a message across to people, and that was when we kind of realized like we should be doing something around the coronavirus. So originally we were going to do just one video. So we interviewed a 97-year-old to see how he thought it compared with World War II. And then we interviewed someone in northern Italy, in Bergamo, a city that was massively affected by it. We didn't end up going ahead on that video in the end. But yeah, that was what we were going to do originally, just one video on the coronavirus, like super transparent, just to kind of wake young people up. But literally every day that was going by, I think we thought of that idea 5 days before we were going to release it. But every day that went by, people were kind of starting to realize that it was a thing. So we were pretty outdated 3 days in because we were trying to wake people up to it, but people were already woken up to it. And I think the mood kind of shifted. Instead of wanting to learn more about it, people just didn't want to hear about it because of all like every festival was getting cancelled, work was getting cancelled, people were scared of death. It was that first stage of just constant like a big anxiety. Like I didn't want to kind of add to that, and we didn't want to add to that. So yeah, then we were like, okay, what content can we do? We thought about doing commentary content. So it's a funny video on the internet. Let's commentate on that. And that's kind of a subset of YouTube, and it does quite well. But it does. It's kind of why people like our show is because we go out and we do loads of different things all around the world and all around the country, and yeah. So that's why people like us, I think. And then so yeah, we didn't think we could do good inside content. We've got around 3 or 4 weeks outside content that we could just release as normal and say, hey guys, do you remember these times? But even then we were like, it's going to be quite weird to release videos of us in public without while everyone's quarantined. So we ended up creating a whole new show called the Stuck Inside Show. And this was born out of the idea that we didn't want to like stay on the defense. We didn't try and hold our position and upload weekly. We kind of went on the attack. We said, right, if we're going to be in our house like 8 weeks, what can we do that's different? Like let's take into account, let's kind of forget everything that we know. What can we do? And then yeah, we came up with this idea to do the Stuck Inside Show, where we literally stuck inside our house for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks minimum, and create a show out of it. So we quickly, within a week, kind of came up with a load of segments. There's one segment where we've got tiny hands, which we ordered. We've got a big green screen. We do like laugh challenges where it means that watch funny videos and just like fill yourself with water, watch funny videos. And the one that kind of loses all the water and ends up spitting on the other is the one that loses. So yeah, we've just got loads of different formats that we've come up with that are all based on being stuck inside. And we've massively increased the production rate of it as well. So we've actually got a video that's dropped 12 minutes ago. They go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday versus our traditional one a week. And that was to kind of latch on to people's kind of boredom and the fact that with the audience, there's going to be more of an audience there who are just sitting inside kind of bored. So we want to meet that with more videos. So yeah, that was kind of the challenge we faced, was what can we do that's innovative inside, and then how can we meet that demand? We're going to put out more, and then how can we produce stuff that is innovative as well, so that we can get it out regularly. And that was kind of like the three things that we were looking at. And yeah, we think we kind of got it really. We're second episode in. We've filmed all the way up till next week. So 2 weeks ahead on film, and it's just getting the edits out now. But yeah.
Nice, man. So do you see that going forward now for the foreseeable until we get out of quarantine altogether? You're just going to keep this series sort of going, or are you going to try and experiment with new things and new ideas as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is all going to be the stuck inside show while we're quarantined. But yeah, but we are going to try and do stuff outside of that. When we did see the coronavirus happening, I was like being transparent. I knew it was going to be absolute hell, but I was going to say, I was saying, what can we do to put ourselves in the best kind of wind for this, as opposed to have it blowing at us? How can we kind of take advantage?
I like what you're saying about going on the offensive, because that's one thing that content creators and YouTubers and people that work largely from home can achieve. I mean, Tom is a graphic designer first and foremost, and you've been able to carry on doing your projects.
Yeah.
Like, not much has changed.
Yeah.
And we thought the same, and we were trying to think of what can we do. I mean, we live like 2 minutes away from each other, and we saw each other once where I had to give Tom some stuff, and we did it sort of like a film where you put the bag in the middle and then you go like this.
Yeah.
Person comes and picks it up and takes it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought the same thing. Let's get on the offensive, and doing these conversations is actually so much easier, and to produce stuff from home, that we were like, yeah, let's do daily episodes. At first we were like, a week and see who we can talk to, and then it was like, no, fuck it, let's do it every day. We did the first one, and then we sat around all day like, what next? But like, you got so much time, so that's definitely one positive of this situation for sure.
I think going back to your earlier point about businesses adopting new sort of approaches online, like, we're so blessed to have the tool that is the internet. So like, going just what Ollie was saying, we want to sort of rinse that as much as we can, and try and like take risks, almost like you do in your videos, and see like what sort of names we can get onto the conversation, whether it be like a rock star or a DJ or like an actor or something.
Yeah,
and that's do that now, you know.
The other thing is that people are bored and doing nothing in the house as well. Like these actors and these celebrities and stuff, like they kind of are more.
We were looking at people's Instagrams and we were like, those people are doing nothing. They're doing nothing. Yeah. They should speak to us on here. So like, we want to talk to loads of different industries of like I said, of education. Like the first one we did was with a doctor, and he sort of told us about maybe some of the needs of the NHS, and we've talked to teachers. But we also sort of want to use this as a bit of fun and see who the fuck can we talk to. We started with just me and Tom talking, and then hopefully we can get someone outrageous on in the future. And it'd be nice to see that sort of family tree of growth from person to person, and see where you end up. I think that's the ultimate goal, I think. I mean, last night we've been doing this basically for a couple years now. We've done different projects where we've done a lot of stuff for charity, and with students and stuff, but we've never had like big traction online. Like, we've had the odd thing, and last night or a couple of nights ago, we had a phone call and we were like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, I'm sure you came from a background, because I think in some of your first episodes you talk about your transition where Zac's trying to like lure you into this world and you've got yourself set up, and like just a couple of days ago we were like, what the fuck are we doing? How do we get people? And then you replied to our email and we were like, okay. And we're getting little bits, so we're like, okay, the people are applying. I mean, what are your feelings on that sort of thing? Because this must have been a feeling of not knowing what you're doing. What was that, probably like a year or two ago for you?
Yeah, it's about I mean, yeah, the bit yeah, I'm just trying to work out where it was to start. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of in that position of like a year. I don't know, there's two stages. There was one when I was running my old company, which was like a tech company. It was completely different. We were like selling software to universities, and that was a very like corporate-led, corporate place basically. And it could have done well. And then the other thing was the complete opposite, which is running a YouTube channel with my mate, sneak into festivals, and which is just the very opposite. And you could do really well in both sides, but they're just complete. You've got to kind of choose. So it took me about a year to actually decide whether I wanted to leave my business, which was like 30% of the amount of time that I was in the business in the first place. So it was quite a long time in when you compare it to how long it was actually there. But yeah, I think you just kind of what advice would you give in that sense? I think I'd probably just say like do what whatever you think you'd have the most fun in, where you can see it take you in the best direction of life. Because that was kind of the thing for me, is when I was running my tech company, I realized that even though the best thing that I could have done is probably raise investment, which we probably needed for growth, and then selling it to a company. And I was like, that's going to take 7 to 10 years, best case, or 5 years, best case scenario, probably 7. But the math says it's probably going to fail. And if it doesn't fail but doesn't sell, then I'm going to be in it for 20 years. That's a pretty crap. Do I really want to be selling software for 20 years? Not really. But the YouTube side, best case scenario, you end up being super rich, running a load of businesses to your audience, and you've had a shitload of fun in between. That looks really good. Worst case scenario is you spend all the money you've just made for 3 years. You've had loads of fun, but for me, it wasn't a risk. It wasn't a risk of failing, really. The risk was just not doing something massive.
And I agree with that.
There's plenty of opportunity to do big things in YouTube, but in my mind, that was quite a risk in itself. I almost felt like I had to trust the process in that decision, because there wasn't, I'm going to sell this business in 5 years' time, because you can't really sell YouTube channels. So just put yourself in a position where you can create other business was my thought process. So yeah, I think taking the direction of life that taking the decision that is going to put you in the best direction of life is probably the best shout. But what I'd say to you guys who kind of made that decision or whatever with this is those names. How can you get your, like, for us it was the Maximus Bucharest video that got like 17 million views. It just popped. How can you get your, like, that moment and you can kind of build it up slowly, which is great. You should definitely be doing that. That's what we were doing, posting out weekly with regular good vibrant content. But for you guys, can you get just a huge name on your show, bring up friends of families, even make them their own personalized video? And let's say you get Jimmy Carr on, or James Corden, or maybe not Jimmy Carr, but like James Corden, like a proper A-lister. Then it's so easy to go to someone like me and Zach and said, we've already had Jimmy Carr on, we've already had James Corden on, we've had David Beckham on already. And like, do you know what I mean? Like, you raise the bar that much. It's way more effort to get them, but then it's so much easier getting everyone else around that space, and they're just going to play off each other at that stage.
Yeah, I feel
because we're doing
a strong base, like, of what we've built up with, and we've got very genuine relationships with people from a lot of different places, particularly within universities. We've done quite a lot of stuff, but there's always that frustration of, like, why was that not better? Or like, we're putting in all the work. I mean, my mum always says to me, well, she said to me once when I was a bit miserable about it, she said, you chose this life. And I remember at the time I was like, fuck off, mum. Like, okay, fine, whatever. But she said it in a positive way. It was like, you chose this life because you want this path, and you chose it in the bad times and in the good times. And I mean, yeah, I think it's just natural to have those times when you doubt yourself, especially when you're putting out stuff that's quite personal sometimes, and you're like, does everyone hate me? You know, am I like trying to just, you know? But we'll see what's possible, I guess.
When the fashion video blew up, what was that like? Was it like insane, like meteoric? Like, you couldn't deal with all of the attention, all the like views and stuff, or was it kind of, did you take it in your stride, sort of?
It wasn't like mental on a personal level in terms of like the people that recognise us and our life suddenly changed massively. But I mean, life suddenly did change. It didn't change that massively. But why that was so like amazing for us is, like, we were gunning for that viral video that would do really well. Like Zach's previous video, the Conor McGregor, even like the AJ one. We've seen some videos be made by one video, and like so many rappers and stuff, they'll have one song that'll pop, and then they'll just keep doing good, and that'll just put them on the map. And then from there, they'll just keep doing the work. As long as they keep doing the work, fine stuff. We were kind of really banking on that. And we'd had so many videos that just hadn't performed as well as we could have, and loads of comments saying this is amazing, this is amazing. We felt we were kind of underrated, but also knew that we'd get what we worked for eventually, so we weren't kind of complaining in that sense. But yeah, we had about 2 months of savings left. People asked like when we went full time on the channel, and we literally were full time kind of a month before we even set up the channel. That's going to be really double down on it. Had about 8 months savings, and then 6 months in, that just blew up. And that, kind of speaking frankly, gave us like 10 grand from ad money, and that enabled us to then hit the targets of a brand deal of a video we dropped a month after, because we had now got 200,000 subscribers instead of 50,000. So that just literally just set us for the next 6 to 7 months. So when we were asking questions like, what are we going to do when this YouTube channel doesn't work? I was going to work in a bar, Zac was going to do freelance videos, and that probably could have broke the channel. Like, if we hadn't made it doing weekly videos constantly, full time, both of us putting in everything, then how are we going to make it like a quarter of that, doing it, fitting it around my hours, fitting it around Zac's hours, putting it on videos that aren't going to get great views? Like, it's going to be a lot harder morale-wise. So, yeah, it did make the channel that. But on a personal level, yeah, it was great. We did feel like it was deserved. We knew that it wasn't the end in any way, shape, or form. Like, we still had to work really hard and keep doing what we were doing. But yeah, it was definitely a very pivotal moment for us.
Yeah, we've been friends since we were like 4, so we always like, we have that strength of like, oh, we've gone this far in life. We're quite persistent, and we don't really give up on it. I mean, I've said to people that what this project has given me, aside from, you know, meeting great people and stuff, it's just like the feeling of belonging to someone. Like, I always say that I loved, when I was like 16, 17, I loved like Odd Future and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, look at all those guys and they're in a group together and that's so sick, and I'm just some fucking guy at home and I suck. I just want a group of people that all believe the same thing, and I've got that, and it's so fulfilling. But then you start to get to an age now, like we're 24 now, which is still fucking young, but people start, what are you doing? And me and Tom, we both work full time. We've both worked in the city. We've both done all kinds of jobs. Like, I've done literally every job, like Deliveroo, labouring. I dressed up as a stormtrooper once for an event. Like, and yeah, you just get frustrated because, especially when you're not doing too well, people are like, oh, that's cute, you have a website. You know, they kind of patronise and they go, oh, that's nice. It's like, we want to compete. Like, we're not here to just be like, oh, that's nice, you made something nice. We want to be like the fucking guys. So I don't know. Hopefully we can speak to some mad people on this, and like, it's been fun already. Like, the people we've spoken to, we've just released a video. Tom's cousin is a teacher in South Korea. We've just released that, which is really interesting. But it's getting people to see it at the minute. And I think we need those bigger names for people to start seeing the full.
Yeah, I think as well, because the content we're doing is trying to shine a light on, you know, creative goodness in the world. So it's not always the most fun, enjoyable content. It's sometimes a bit like people get bored of it. It's climate change, it's like social change, homelessness, which is all really important issues. But we need to like mix in that element of fun so people are engaged and constantly sort of interested.
Yeah, you want to try and combine that with something sexy in some way, something alluring. Yeah, because we do exactly the same. Like, we've done a video on mental health in Bristol where we covered the city in chalk. We did the shipping containers where we documented.
That's how about you, that project, because we were looking into that. We were doing a project with homelessness. We saw that.
Yeah, but we ended up raising like 10. I think it was like $8,000 in the end. But yeah, I mean, those vids are always the worst performing, which is really annoying on that. In fact, the shipping thing got like 3,000 views. The other one's our lowest performing video at like 60,000 views, which it's a bit annoying. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to start with it. But yeah, it's trying to get a balance of making people excited to click it and really wanting to hear about it. It is weird though, because I do feel like we get the most love in the comments on those type of videos, but videos views wise, I think when someone's just, I don't know if it's just YouTube as opposed to your stuff as well, but people just aren't as like they don't get them excited to click on it like when they're just trying to chill.
I think it's like that thing where if someone's at a party and they start saying, oh, homelessness rates have gone through the roof in Bristol, you're kind of a bit like, mate, shut up. Like, I'm trying to be at a party right here. Like, I don't want to hear about like people that are struggling with their mental health or anything like that.
I'd say it's good analogy that. But what are you guys like? What would you say you are if I said what is it that you're doing?
Yeah, so we're basically an online magazine. We do articles with different organisations and people that have projects that will make the world a better place, essentially. So like Tom was saying, that can be anything to do with issues of climate change, social issues, and we highlight those organisations and individuals that are doing either cool projects or their whole organisation as a whole is helping people. And then through doing that, we've also done podcasts, and we've done some fundraising campaigns. So the last one we did was for Valentine's Day, where people could buy a meal for homeless people instead of having a superficial day of like getting loads of chocolates and flowers and all that bollocks. They could actually buy a meal that could mean something and be the most important date they ever went on. And that was really cool. And we managed to raise a bit of money with that. So yeah, I'd say we're a magazine. We want to get away from being a magazine, and we just want to do everything. But I think from a business point of view, you do have to label it.
Yeah, where's like the revenue and stuff from it in your mind?
We've got
Guys,
some.
tell me, by the way, if you want to stick to the normal skip, because I'm just genuinely interested now, because I didn't actually know that much. So we can talk about it after if you want. Yeah, this is
no,
it's cool. Yeah,
sounds really good. Basically, it sounds really good. I really like the sound of it.
Yeah, we've got plans to sort of develop it into, because right now, to be frank, we don't make barely any money. Me and Ollie just put in all our time and effort to get it up to the ground. But we've got plans to expand it into more of a subscription-based program where people actually get, so it's like a tool where people get something out of it and they can meet and collaborate, sort of like this conversation, but on a larger scale.
Right.
So bringing together artists and engineers or scientists and poets, and they can start to work together on projects to.
Because these projects exist. Like I did a podcast at University of Oxford recently, and they have this group where scientists and poets come together to make poems. And I was like, that's fucking insane. Like it's super clever people from like two ends of the spectrum are coming together to do this. And yeah, it's having the online tools, which would be very difficult to make because that's a tech issue, and we've had people come in and out, but have a website where people can come and collaborate on our website, can have conversations like this, can build their ideas on there. But then there's also revenue would be from events and talks and things like that, where people like workshops and stuff, which we've done with students before. And I talk at Central St. Martin's, but there's not a lot of money in that unless just tons. And then hopefully from this, you know, a revenue through YouTube. We haven't really done YouTube, to be honest. That was one of our things that were like, people like watching stuff. People are lazy, aren't they? They don't like reading stuff. They're not going to sit through hours of podcast if they don't know the guest. So it's making interesting content.
How long have you been at it now?
When did we start?
So it started because
it was like fucking years ago.
Yeah, I was at uni and I was doing politics for no apparent reason, and I was just sick of it. I hated it, and I left uni, and I was like, I want to start something because I love all the stuff I consume online. I want to be in that party and do that thing. So I was like, okay, I'm a dropout right now. We'll call it Dropout, and we'll do this and that. And then came home for Easter because I was living in Liverpool. That's where I was at uni. Met up with Tom. We played football together. I knew he was a graphic designer. I was like, I want to do this thing. I feel like you can help me. And then little by little, it went from like a personal blog sort of ish thing to then, okay, we can actually feature people. But why would we feature anyone? Okay, let's feature people that are making the world a better place through positive projects. And then we've had different versions of the website. I mean, you get small wins, like the projects we've done, like we planted loads of trees at one point. We said, did a project with loads of students and graduates, but they've been small wins. It's been like very up and then it's down. Then we don't seem to capitalize. It's like we're through on goal and then we just don't shoot sometimes.
Yeah. What do you mean by capitalize? Like, what's capitalizing for you?
So, for example, with the students, we did this day of workshops with them. We featured all their projects. We did a live podcast. There was such a buzz and a feeling with all those students on that day, and then we took our foot off the gas afterwards, and nothing really happened. And because we patted ourselves on the back, I think a little bit because it went so well, but also like we didn't have that killer mentality right there. I don't think. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think right now the key for us is to grow an audience, so we have that base to then build more of an actual business from. Because we've got 700, 800 followers, you can only do so much because unfortunately, that's what the world revolves around right now, is that social sort of platform a lot of the time. But we'll get there. Like we've had so many good projects now, and we've got such a great contact book of amazing collaborators, people all around the world. So it's just, I think we're just waiting for that, like, hopefully that break to come through.
Yeah. How many followers do you reckon you'll need roughly? Or like, is it followers mainly, or do you have an email list, by the way?
We're launching that very soon. Like, we're launching a new update to our website, which I'm currently designing. We've got a developer on board. We've got a couple of writers who write for us. So we've got a strong team of friends and collaborators. So it's on the precipice of like really turning into this next sort of entity, hopefully.
It's just, it seems to be at the minute people are like, we love the stuff, but like not on a broad, like we have like a core group of like, so our conversation we're going to do for this on Saturday or whenever we're doing it, we're going to do a big like Zoom one, and we're going to get all the people that like every post and really fuck with us and be like, what do you love about it, and like basically like what do they want, like what we're all going to do, because I really appreciate those people, but like you've said, it's time to take it to that next point where everyone gives a fuck. And there's that whole thing, like, no one cares until everyone does. Like, even getting you on here, a few people come out of the woodwork because they must watch your videos. And I'm like, here we are, come on then. Go on.
One time.
Yeah.
How's it been for you guys? Are you still a two-man team, or are you expanded now into like a bigger entity?
I mean, it's me and Zac. Zac does most of the filming. But he doesn't touch any of the editing at the moment. We've got 2 editors who do that. We've got a producer who was part-time for us before the Maximus Pick-Arrest video, who's now full-time. That's about it. I've got people at Kyra who do like management of the team, like management stuff, like sales. But it's amazing. Like it's so just efficient now. Everything moves so much quicker, and
Does that feel weird? Having like a team now, going from 2 lads that were just mates and cracking on to being like, fucking hell, there's like people that are doing sales or something like.
To be honest, not really, because we were just like so laser focused at like getting to this stage. So that was in my mind like the next step that we had to get, and it was always kind of the aim point. So when it's kind of happened, it's not like, oh man, how did that happen? It's like we were really trying to do that. But the big thing for me was we thought it would take 3 years to get to this stage. Not from subscribe point of view, but at this stage of having a team. But now we've got there. I thought in 3 years you've got the time to work out what you want to do when you start. It's a bit like, oh shit, like what? Is someone gone?
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
Okay, cool. I think never mind. So that's but now we've got that. It's a bit like, what do we focus on now? Like, it is still grow the channel massively, but what else can we do that's big? What big things can we do? Yeah,
cool. I'll ask you some questions before we call it a day, because quite a lot of people did get in touch actually. You've answered a few of them. Some of them were as basic as, does Jay and Zac live together? And you said you do. So that's what the fans want to hear.
Your camera's gone, mate. Is it Ollie or Tom? But one of your cameras gone from my view. That's fine. We can just.
I can still see both.
I can still both as well.
All right, that's weird.
It's all right.
Oh no, I'm sharing the screen. Yes, that's good.
Borner asks, what's the best thing you've recorded that you couldn't upload to YouTube? You don't have to go in too deep if it's not appropriate.
There's one time when we went to Russia for the World Cup, that a lot of that story, if it is uploaded, will not be getting uploaded, and a lot of it is very good.
That'll be one for you two to watch. Like in our podcast stuff, we've got loads of shit that we will never share because we always just whack on the recording. Like for loads of stuff, and then you have all this, like, we did this rap about this priest at a local church and his white Range Rover, which makes no fucking sense. That will never see the light of day.
That's funny, you should get it out. It's not too offensive to the Catholic Church.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? We probably should, you know.
Priest, actually.
Yeah.
What do you think of climate change as a biggie?
Well, sorry guys, mate, my laptop's doing this annoying thing where it just dies at 40%. It's so annoying.
Oh mate, my phone does that. It's so long.
Yeah, I didn't know for a new phone did it. I didn't know laptop did it as well. But, sorry, was that ruin the podcasting for you?
No, just cut it.
Cut it up. It's calm.
Nice.
You were talking about The Big Short, my friend.
Yeah, so The Big Short, that really resonated to me, and that's exactly how I felt with the coronavirus. Nobody keep going on about that, but if something is going to happen and the data show this thing is going to happen, people, and that thing is absolutely ridiculous. It is so extreme. It just changes everything as you know it. People just will not believe it. They'll just do everything they can to protect their own perception of normality and will want to stay in that position. And I think that could be the massive thing with climate change. I think it's a very, Greta Thunberg says it's a very clear equation, which is, well, our CO2 levels are rising so much every single year. This is causing an increase in temperature. And then it's not hard to work out where, if you follow this exact same trend, is going to be in 50 years' time, 100 years' time. And if that looks like a terrible place, we need to do something to change the input to the number of that graph so it doesn't get to that stage. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that's the thing that showed me with the coronavirus is people will really hope for the best, but not prepare for the worst. I think we should probably hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So, yeah, it's woken me up a lot to it, I think.
What other... Sorry, I was going to then say, what other films do you like? It was one of the questions.
Yeah.
Doomed to, do you like movies?
Yeah, man.
People know, so...
Yeah, no, I love him, to be fair. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question? Which your favourite ones?
Yeah, favourite. Give us some recommendations.
I watched Start Up tonight. Have you heard of that with Jack O'Connell? That's just off the top of my head. It's not a favourite, but that's a good one. What did we watch? But I watched Parasite recently. That was sick. Watched Peanut Butter Falcon recently with Shia LaBeouf. That was good. What's that favourite film? Big Shot is actually one of my favourite films. If you've not seen that, you should check that out. Even though I know it's not like, it was more like the story and what it told me that I really enjoyed as opposed to like the film, even though it's a good film. There's more to go
off. No worries. If you ain't got any more, you ain't got any more.
What you guys got? Go on, you talk about it, and then it'll bring things out of my mind.
I watched another Shia LaBeouf film, Honey Boy on the Plane recently. That's a good film. I
think Parasite's the best film I've watched in years. That film's unreal. So good. Have you seen it?
I ain't seen it.
Yeah,
it's class. So good.
Uncut Gems, that was sick.
That's a sick film. That's a sick film.
Gems. There's a new season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Netflix, which I banged in like one day the other day. It's just easy, isn't it? It's comforting.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Again, you feel safe.
I watched that one with Pacino and De Niro on Netflix. What's it? The Irishman. I thought that. Yeah, I ended up watching cinema though, and I went after work at like 7, and it started at like 7:30. And what is it, like 3.5 hours? We left at 11, just exhausted. Like I've sat in an office all day, kind of rushed to the cinema, thinking it'd be nice and relaxing. It felt like a marathon, but it was an amazing film. I thought I loved it. I'm trying to think of other.
You got any other suggestions? It don't have to be film that people can do at home or watch, read, exercise.
Yeah, Blow by Johnny Depp is a good film. Any other exercises? I started doing. Well, I do like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I'd recommend doing that once all this shit is over. But I've been doing it about a year and a half, so my body's pretty tight and stuff. So I've been doing this yoga for BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, on YouTube. That's good, lower back and hip workouts.
Yeah, we were both interested in like UFC and stuff, and Tom, you did a taste.
Yeah. I just couldn't afford it. I spared it.
What do you tell me?
I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I went for a few classes.
Yeah.
But my bank account didn't allow it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I do want to get into it.
Yeah, it is expensive. The way I don't know, when I moved to London, the way I kind of rationalise it is I'll end up spending just as much money, if not, on like booze and a Friday. I just went midweek and just spent more on both. So yeah, I don't know. It is expensive, and you got to buy the gis as well, which are like 50 to 100 quid. So yeah, it's not a cheap one.
Investment, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, people spend that on yoga and stuff, don't? And if you break it down, like it's way more than that, isn't it? It's like 10 quid a class if you go 4 times or 2 times a week, 8 quid a month. Yeah, I mean, I pay about 100 quid a month. But yeah, I do like 3-4 times. So if you break it down to that, it's not as bad. Yeah.
A couple more questions. We've talked about that. Do you have any must-watch like smaller creators on YouTube?
I don't actually watch that much YouTube myself. I'm trying to get into it more because it helps with ideation. But there's a guy called Liam Bedford who we did some FaceTiming with before. Who's good. I like his stuff. 2 girls called Out of Office. They're good as well. They do cool ideas. I like them. One of them is our producer, and another one's a good friend of mine as well. So yeah, that is my disclaimer for them. Yeah, other than that, I'm not sure. Zach could be able to tell you way more, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
Fair play, mate. Well, thank you for jumping on this. It's been a real good conversation. I've enjoyed talking to you. You're a good guy.
No, sounds good, guys. Sounds like you setting up something with good values and good foundations, which is good to see. Oh yeah, and podcast as well. Sick podcast, which you can put in like re-edit it, is Joe Rogan and Naval. Amazing podcast, man. Amazing. Joe Rogan and Naval. It's sick. But yeah, I'll leave that.
Nice one, mate. Thank you very much.
See you in a bit, guys. Have a good day.
See you there, man.
Bye.